I'll get to that in a moment because it's very specific, the kind of rest it's talking about. But the Page of Swords, it's misunderstandings. It's context. This situation lacks context. We can get some news, we can get some information, we might overhear something, we might snoop on someone's Facebook and see something like a relationship change or something, but it lacks context. We don't know the full story. That's why this is the spy. This is someone who looks from afar. They're trying to get information from afar. What information have you been trying to get? Or what news have you received? Or what information do you have to work with? Now, that's the Page of Swords. So swords are our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, and how we communicate them. And pages are the very beginnings of the court cards. They lack the maturity, knowledge, whatever you want to call it, experience of the knights, let alone the queens and the kings, right? So this might be something new that you figured out. But with the Hanged Man coming up, I kind of feel like you've been trying to understand this. You've been trying to understand it. Now, some of you haven't. Like, we can take the Page of Swords at his word, or at her word, whatever. Nice little ponytail there. But whatever, you take the word of the Page of Swords. Like I said, it lacks context. So with the Hanged Man coming up here, this is a deeper understanding. What do I believe? Now, there's another thing around this, because I don't really see any more information coming in. See that? There's no more information coming in. He's standing there with his sword, swinging his sword around, but he's kind of stuck, not going anywhere. Emperor's kind of stuck with his empire. He's sat on his throne. The Four of Pentacles guy, you can't get him to leave those pentacles to save his life, because that's all he has. So he's holding on to that. The Devil, we're bound. The Four of Swords, we're not moving. And yet this is fire. What do I always say? Fire is always moving. Why would we not be moving in a fire reading? Why? Think about that. That's why I love these elementals. They get us to look at it in a different way, in the because that gives us context. Fire is the context, right? But if fire is always moving and it's action, it's doing, and let's go and get that, and let's go do whatever. I think it's because maybe you've been limiting yourself on what inspires you, what you want to create, on that kind of thing. And so with the Page of Swords, it may be, I don't know enough. I don't know enough. That might be why the Page of Swords is coming up. You might be acknowledging that, the brutal truth. I don't know enough. And so for some people, when you don't know a lot, it may be, I mean, I'm thinking if I was to employ someone, and I'll give you an example actually. Whenever I get very young people that come to me, and I mean like people, I don't do read for anyone under 18, like in their 20s or something, and they're just starting off in their careers, and that no one gives me a job. I'm not experienced enough. I don't have any experience. How am I meant to get experience if I don't have the experience? So that could be one end of this Page of Swords. But whenever I get older people that come to me and say, you know, I'm thinking of moving, changing jobs. I'm talking about people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. They want to change jobs, and there's some very brave people out there that are going in different directions. But some of them like, I'm too experienced. No one's going to give me a job now. I'm too experienced in that field. And it always makes me laugh, because the older people think the younger people have it easy, and the younger people think the older people have it easier. So, but it depends, right? The grass is greener. The Page of Swords, it's whatever story you've been telling yourself, it's seeing it from a different perspective. That's important, because how can you act if you're it's almost like trying to get in the ring for a boxing match with one arm tied behind your back. And this kind of feels like the realization of where you've had that one arm tied behind your back. Hope that makes sense. It's a bit of a big one. Now, I think it's where you've been limiting yourself on what your empire is, of what you know. The Emperor, have a look at him. He's an older guy, right? He's been running that empire forever. And he sat on his throne, and he knows how it's always been done. That's why he's always like, my way or the highway. He's very stubborn. He's managed to build a whole empire. You know, his knowledge is not for nothing. And yet that's something new. The Page doesn't have that kind of experience. And so think about that. And not just in setting limits. Where have you set limits? Where have you said, I'm not going to learn anything else? Or this is it now. This is my lot. or I need to just work with this set of criteria. Because something feels like, and it might already be happening because that's the underlying energy that's coming in. I think you already know this. I'm not going to go as far as say I don't see new information coming in. I see existing information flipped on its head and viewed from a different perspective with the Hangman coming in. And also then some sacrifice must be made. I mean, think about that. If I wanted to go back to be a student and to learn something new, then I can't spend all my time doing the old job, right? I need to take some time out for classes and to do my homework and to learn this new stuff. But if I see myself as an authority on something, and that's what it kind of feels like, an authority, and I'm talking about in terms of learning stuff and all the rest of it, this might be as a father. I'm a father now, that's, I can't do that. And whereas the Page of Swords is like, well, of course I can, if I'm off, I don't know, whatever it is you want to do, riding motorbikes. I know someone who's just done that recently, actually, midlife crisis. But riding motorbikes, so why can't I do that? It's something new. Now, age doesn't have anything to do with it. If you're setting that limit yourself, like, age or experience or what I've learned or the rest of it, because this reading calls you out on what the problem is. Can you guys guess which card it is? Well, actually, the Devil as well. But it's the Four of Pentacles, where it says, look, I get it. You've got a certain level of security and stability. You know what is of value to you. You've got this, but you're not willing to squander it. You're not willing to risk it. You're not willing to be vulnerable. That's the issue. Not how much you know, how much you don't know. And that's the sacrifice, the Hangman is a sacrifice that we make. And the sacrifice is that it's going to make you feel uncomfortable to do this. And so this goes bigger than that then. It says surrender to setting limits. But have a look at that. It's asking, where are you? Setting the limits doesn't mean that we bring them in. Sometimes it means taking them, bringing them out, pushing them out a bit. And acknowledging where our limits are and acknowledging the edge of our comfort zone, because we know we're going to be going past that. So this is taking a moment, seeing what makes us feel uncomfortable. That is one of the comfort zone cards. And it's that whole, I don't have enough to give to this. It feels new. We're going from the Emperor in the past to the Page of Swords in the present. I mean, that's very different energy. So let's see. Why is the Four of Pentacles? There we go. Right. So the whole thing with the Four of Pentacles, why it's a comfort zone, is that he has to go and spend or do something with that. He has to invest it. Change is inevitable. There will be change. You can see death kind of marching in, and he's kind of holding on to it. I mean, if he holds on to it, he won't lose what he has, but something else will have changed. Now, Four of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles coming up at the heart of the reading. The Seven of Pentacles says the writing's on the wall. You know what you get back from whatever you do now, from whatever your boundaries are, whatever limits you've set. You already know. You already know what the state of whatever is, what the actions that you've been taking, what you get back. How you socialize, the relationships that you get into, the projects that you work on, the energy that you put into stuff, how many hours you work a week. You already know what you get from that, how much you earn from that, what the returns are on that. The Seven of Pentacles says that. Now, think about it. The Page of Swords is looking onto this. The Page of Swords is looking onto this. I just had this thought that, the readings are coming out so big. And I say that all the time, but they're extra big this week. Trust me on that. That I hope that if there are questions, and I don't mean like, can you explain this card more or whatever. I mean, in understanding the message. I'm going to give you everything that comes through. So there won't be any further to the message. But in understanding something that I say around this message, if you need help, just put it in the comments. I'm going to try to answer as many people as I can, because it feels that way. And I want to make sure people understand this. And maybe we can help each other as well in comments. Thank you guys. But with that, it's, from everything that you've been doing right now, what you get back. And with the Page of Swords looking on, I mean, you can imagine the Page of Swords might be looking at this and saying, yeah, well, if I just keep doing this, I know I've been getting oranges so far, but if I show up every day and keep watering it, maybe I'll get apples. Maybe I'll get apples. And this energy is like, seriously? Seriously? You're only going to ever get whatever you've sown, whatever you've been getting so far. That's all you're going to get from this situation. It won't change. Maybe you'll get more, so if you're getting oranges now, maybe you'll start getting more oranges the more you plant, but you're not going to miraculously start getting apples. So then you must decide, well, okay, I'll accept oranges. Is that because you don't want to go to the effort of getting apples? Or is it because you genuinely love oranges more? And then accepting that you've got oranges is coming out of your comfort zone. Do you see what I mean? It's not always the same answer for everyone. For some people, accepting that they've got oranges is a big leap outside of their comfort zone. For other people, it's, going after the apple, saying, no, I reject this. It's never what I wanted. It's not self-honoring. I'm going to go do that. Is that going after the apples? Is that coming out of your comfort zone? But the Seven of Pentacles is crucial because it says to you, the writing's on the wall right now. No new information coming in. What you see in front of you right now, the returns that you get right now from the actions that you put, that the things that you do in your life, you already have the answers around that. Now, what you realize from that with the Devil is where you're stuck. Where you're stuck. And for some of you, this may be, well, I used to love doing this. You see the Lovers trapped there. I used to love doing this, but now you don't love it so much. Now you feel kind of trapped. You started off loving the baking. You loved baking. But now you've kind of started to rely on the extra money it brings in every month. Because you're selling at a car boot sale or something. You're selling your baked goods. You don't enjoy baking anymore. It's become too much like work. You have to get up early and you're not resting and stuff. But the money, I'm relying on that money now. And that's the Devil. Where something that we loved has turned kind of dark and toxic. And it now has power over us. And we're not growing. And we're not changing. And we're not doing anything else. Because the highest vibration of that person who baked and loved what they were doing is, if they don't enjoy it anymore, it's not, I'm going to keep doling out. Or think in terms of videos. Oh no, I'm going to have to keep doing love readings because that's what's the most viewed. If I don't enjoy it, then I shouldn't be doing it because I'm not going to be open to the messages. So I'm doing myself a disservice. I'm doing my trade a disservice, and I'm doing the viewers a disservice. That's the Devil. So that's what it kind of feels like, that we kind of figure out where we're stuck, what's holding us back. Where are we taking the shortcut? Where are we tempted by something? And don't forget, what frees us from the Devil, either through our actions or someone else's, is the Tower. The Tower frees us from the Devil. And the Devil looks pretty gruesome. But look at that's us. At the feet of the Devil, we're just frolicking around. We never feel it's a bad thing. We do on one level. We know it has power over us. Those of you that have watched me for a while, you know this, because I've taught this plenty of times. What does this mean? What does this mean when these two come up together? Codependency. That's the combination for codependency. And so it's a big message around looking at our motivations for why we are doing what we're doing. Why are we doing what we're doing? Is it for our own greater good? Is it because it's the easy way out? Is it old behavioral patterns? It's big, guys. This feels like a massive clear out. And I kind of feel like we've been doing that the last couple of weeks. That's Scorpio season. Because if this is surrender to setting limits, then what is the limit that this guy sets? I'm going to make sure my own scales are balanced first before I give to anyone else, or before whatever I do. And then whatever I do have to give, because my own cup is full, then, that will come back to me. It will come back to me. There's no shame and there's no pride in this card. He's helping them out because he has extra to give, and they're helping him out because they're allowing him this opportunity to do something good. But whenever you get the Six of Pentacles and the Devil together, that it can very much be old behavioral patterns, not knowing our own self-worth, getting stuck in this, I have to do it, I'm trapped here. Because the Devil is the illusion that we're stuck. But the Devil says only those things that we allow to keep us, the chains that we allow to hold us back, will hold us back. We have to break those chains. And there's a truth there. I mean, the Hangman can be meditation. We're stopping for a moment. We're considering this situation, looking at it from a different perspective. Where are you not good in the actions that you take? And it's hard because, you know, with the Emperor coming up, it's made you feel empowered before. It's made you feel empowered before. I've told that story before. I'll tell it again. That the summer that I realized, when I realized I was codependent, it was a little bit of a process after that. But the summer where it happened was I went away for 4 months because I was very ill at that time. And so I went away for 4 months and to get treatments and all sorts of stuff. And then I came back and every single one of my friends, their lives had fallen apart. Their lives had fallen apart. You know, all sorts of crazy stuff was going on with them. And it made me realize that, you know, I had thought I was the emperor, helping everyone. I helped everyone, right? I was a good friend. I was a nice person. I was the best of us. I had pride. Now I recognize it. At the time I didn't. You know, I was just being a good person. I was empowered. They were not. So when I was not around for 4 months, they didn't know how to take care of themselves. And I went through a lot of guilt in the months after that. I felt a lot of guilt. And that's why when people ask me, how do you say no? How do you get over the guilt of saying no? Because I've experienced the guilt of what happens. I've seen the results of how I had disempowered people from my own selfish desire to be empowered. And it was that. I mean, I wasn't consciously doing it. Very devil energy. I didn't realize it. But as soon as I recognized it, I was devastated. So look at your motives for why you do things. Look at your motives for staying in situations, relationships, you know, wherever you're taking action. And this is giving you everything. I mean, it's preparing you for Sagittarius season. You can kind of see that here. There's no real fire here. I mean, that's Aries energy, yes, with the Emperor coming up. That's in the past. He's very much like the King of Wands. It's in the past. Why do we do what we do? What do we get out of it? Why do we give what we give? Why is that the energy that we're putting out into the world? That's what this week's asking you. And where you could, if you can figure that out, that's the whole serenity, setting limits. If you can figure out why you're doing that, you know, why do I give so much? Or am I good? Am I in a good place to be able to give? Of course you have the Ace of Cups coming up in the future. We can begin a new emotional cycle with a full cup. It is our job, it is our duty as a member of this collective, and we're all one. We're all part and parcel of this. And as you fill your cup, everyone's cup gets filled. Everyone's cup gets filled. Think about that. We all mirror each other. We all interact with each other from that place. And the more full your cup is, that's the more full other people's. And that's not the point that's not the reason to do it. We do it because, hey, it's nice to have a full cup. I mean, that's very light energy. For all of this seriousness and things can't get moving, this sums it up. How can you take action and go on a new adventure and feel creative and feel moved or inspired to create something, or just go and have some fun? You know, and this kind of message came up actually today in today's Scorpio season challenge as well, because it was the trick or treat card from the Halloween Oracle. And I was thinking of the Page of Wands when I was reading that. But how will you know what to do there, or to go in a new direction, to have a new adventure, if you don't even know how you feel? If your own cup isn't full, how will you know that? And again, we have this page energy, which is, be prepared to just give up everything. I mean, it doesn't matter how old you are, 80, 90, 120, whatever it is that you feel that you know. Please be of what you do, of what you are able to do. What you are able to do. Of what you are able to do. Please be ready for it to be challenged this week. Where you might have sat confidently in your energy of, yeah, I'm good. I mean, think about me. It might be for me, for the tarot. Where I think, oh my God, I love coming and playing with the cards, or I love doing this, or, you know, whatever. And I realize that, I don't know, let me think. I'm a powerful psychic. So maybe I'm a powerful psychic. And so the tarot, where I thought it was giving me my power, it was just the beginning of the information. And I have so much more to give and explore from that. but really what I thought was something that empowered me was something that's been holding me back from even a deeper, more fulfilling path for me. Something that would really fill my cup, that I would have fun going on this new adventure. But how do we figure that out? How do we get to this place with the Four of Swords? And the Four of Swords is taking a break. It's recovery. It's healing in mind, body, and spirit. It's putting down our weapons. No more fighting for the moment. So be gentle with yourself. You always hear me say that. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind with yourself. You're stepping away from this. And yes, the Page of Swords is brutally honest. No tact, no caution, just kind of lays it out there. But there is this pause. It feels like a pause. So if you don't know what to do this week, I mean, in terms of action, don't worry about it. We'll do that in Sagittarius season. We got time yet. Let's get to a place where we take empowered action. Because, you know, that's the difference. If you react from lack, if you react from desperation, if you react from, think about people that get addicted to stuff. That's the devil. They're filling a space. Like, you know, I used to be a comfort eater, and that are you using food to fill a hole in yourself, right? Oh my God, I can hear Dean Winchester telling some guy in telling some guy in one of the episodes where they got put in prison or something, that burgers are not love. God, sorry guys, there's some weird shit how it's coming through this time, but yeah, burgers are not love. But we all do that somehow. And so with the Four of Swords coming out, it's the pause. Because we have to know where we are. We have to know where our scales are balanced, where they are not balanced. Where we are playing it, we're playing safe in a place which is a comfort zone. We think it's a comfort zone because we're comfortable there, but we've outgrown it. It's uncomfortable. No wonder that Page of Swords coming up. The Page of Swords truths are never comfortable. Whatever your situation is and you feel like you're pushing and you're trying to get stuff done, and no matter what you do, it's not working, what's your motivation for it? Because here we've got love and inspiration coming in. And that's like Temperance. The water and the fire that's blending together. Love and inspiration. But it's about clearing out kind of the wellspring of where it comes out from. So yeah, not a lot of action I'm getting for this week, but let's get one for that Four of Swords. Not when the advice card is take a break. And that doesn't mean like don't go to work and don't do anything. But take a break from being the emperor for a moment. He's responsible for everything. He has to make all the decisions. And no, I don't mean let the house burn down either. It's just take a step back. Let's just give up that role for a moment of the authority, of the control factor. Let's just stop that for a moment. Are we truly happy? Are we truly happy? I mean, the emperor's not going to put his empire down. He's not going to be like, no, my empire sucks. No, he's going to be like, it's my empire. I'm proud of it. I built it. Cool. What could you do more with it? Can you expand it? Do you want to expand it? What do you want your empire to be known for? Maybe it's textiles, or it's the crops that you grow, or the gold and gems that you mine from it. Like, what is it about your empire? And that's the downside of the emperor. He doesn't look, he's looked at the same thing for so long. It's like people when they talk about London to me. I love London, but I don't really see London. I go through it all the time. Even if I go into town, I'm on the trains, I'm on the buses. I don't really see it. And it's only when I'm exploring it with people that are new to London, you know, when I'm showing them around or I'm out with tourists, then I see it. Because then I'm not just like him. Yeah, it's home. That's my empire. Like, you know, it's looking at it with fresh eyes, Page of Swords. Looking at it, you know, with fresh inspiration, the Page of Wands. This feels like a real reset, especially with that Four of Swords coming.